Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Find me a find, catch me a catch. Night after night in the dark I'm alone, so find me a match of my own.
Hey, Keisha, how are ya?
Hey, MP, I'm good. How are you?
Hey, you guys, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Match Me Monday. Hey, look at that.
I like that.
Yeah, it's Match Me Abroad Monday, and I've got Keisha here to break it down. We got season 1, episode 6, Bring Me a Ring. And in that intro of the song, when she's singing, she says, night after night, I'm alone in the dark, thinking of a man. And Kimberly's always like, why is she so horny? Why is she talking like Kimberly, that's not nice. That's not nice. Oh my God. We've been covering, and we just finished Jewish Matchmaking from Netflix, and we put that on Supercast, and we just finished it. It's a great show, man. It's a great show. It's we had a disagreement because Kimberly and I both loved so much Indian matchmaking, all 3 seasons. The Jewish Matchmaking's only had 1 season, and Katie could not get into Indian matchmaking at all, and she really likes Jewish matchmaking better, and we had to have like a fight with her. Like,
oh boy, it was a girl fight.
It was a girl fight. It was like, you got to get into the joy that is Seema Auntie on Indian matchmaking.
Yeah, you mentioned her a lot.
Love her, she's no bullshit. She's no bullshit.
Mary Payne, I got to tell you, I am having severe withdrawals from Lalu. Like, it's killing me. It's taking forever for July to get here, and we still don't know when in July. I mean,
July.
It's hurting me.
I have reached out and asked and gotten no answer.
Really?
To my contact that sends me the screeners and stuff, I've sent a thing and said like, hey, we're so looking forward, to getting the screeners and when it's going to start. Can you just kind of give me a hint as to when it might start? And crickets.
Nothing.
No answer.
This is killing me. I miss it.
I know. I don't want them to give me like 2 days notice because we got to finish up with this show too. So we got to, we're going to have to mash them all together. It's going to be a lot.
Yeah. Yep. Pressure,
when I find out, I will let you guys know for sure. I'll let you know.
Yeah, we're waiting. Yeah. We need it.
Match Me Abroad is great, but it's definitely a different vibe than the inmates.
Yes, it is. Most definitely. Yeah. No, nothing compares to Lalu. It is a breed of its own.
When you say most definitely, it sounds so much like one of the Jamaican guys on 90 Day that would always go, oh, most definitely. Oh, most definitely. And I can't remember which one it was or which show or which Jamaican guy. But he would always say that, oh, most definitely. Somebody's
definitely.
Yelling. Yeah, somebody's yelling right now like, don't you remember it was so-and-so? No, obviously I don't.
And I say most definitely a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. I don't know why.
That's like Karen in Georgia on My Favorite Murder, because Karen always said, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. She says that all the time. That's her thing. And that's what they named their network, the Exactly Right Network.
Exactly right.
Yeah. And she still does it, and that show's been on like 10 years, and you'll still hear it. Georgia will be telling a story, and Karen's like, "That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right."
Most definitely. Yes.
See, you come up with these little catchphrases, and you don't even know.
Yeah, when you said it, I was like, I say that a lot. Most definitely.
I don't think.
And I never thought about it.
I say a lot.
I have a lot of things I say a lot. Like so much that my niece mimics the things that I say a lot.
Oh, that's cute. I got a little peek there.
She was being nice to you today.
She's super sweet. What if she could have heard me though? What if she could have heard me? Maybe she wouldn't have been so nice.
That's what was confusing her, is that she could see you talking like and responding to her, but she didn't get that she couldn't hear it. And I'm like, oh yeah, duh. I've got the earbuds in my ear. I'm like, yeah, she was super nice yesterday. We had a crawfish bowl.
Oh,
she was nice to everyone.
Cute.
I mean, because sometimes she could be a little bit of an ass. Yeah. Like, I don't want to talk to you. Don't look at me. I don't know you. Stranger danger. Yeah. Yeah. All the animals were well behaved yesterday. I don't know what kind of miracle blessing we had. Yeah. Sushi didn't bite anyone. He didn't attack anyone. The cats were good. I don't know what happened. It's like
That's
our home
wonderful.
was blessed. Yeah. So
Is James, did he enjoy Father's Day?
he did. He did all the cooking.
Wonderful.
And that's what he loves to do. Yes, 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 yes.
Well,
He
good.
loves to entertain. So yeah, he had to go. How about Dave?
Dave is in Oklahoma with his father.
Oh.
And then my son went to the beach with his girlfriend and her family.
Mm. Oh.
And Anna's been at work. So for the last couple of days, I get up in the morning, I work a little bit, I do whatever, I walk the dogs, come home. I've been going to the pool. It's been a joy.
Been liking it.
It's just a joy.
Tell Anna I say hi.
I
when you
will.
see
She
her.
may be home now. I'm not quite sure. The last couple of nights we've had Cosmo parties, just the two of us,
Oh.
where we've been
Oh,
making
okay.
in the kitchen and getting out martini glasses and having
Oh,
ourselves
nice.
a little evening cocktail.
Yeah, I think
Like,
y'all are having way too much fun over there without Dave. Dave, it's time for you to most definitely come home. Yes.
he's coming home late Monday. I gotta clean up the house before he gets here.
Don't you hate that? I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I got to straighten up in here. Like, damn it. Yeah. Because I'll
totally.
literally eat cereal every day if James is out of town. Like,
Yeah, I just been letting loose. There's
Yeah.
clothes on the floor. I hadn't made up a bed. I'm just like living my slovenly lifestyle. He's gonna come home
Same,
and be
boo,
like, what
same.
happened? I'm like, it gets cleaned up eventually, but just when he goes out of town, I get real single girl real quick.
It's just, it's like we get to be ourselves a little bit.
I
Like,
think so.
this is the true. Well, see, he's always surprised when it's clean because I don't really clean. He's
Mhm.
like, whoa, what happened? I'm like, I know. Welcome
Like
home.
you should have seen it 30 minutes ago. It was real
Yeah,
dirty.
he knows me. He knows. And then he'll go in a closet. He's like, you just threw everything in the closet.
You're like,
Hey,
right.
at least
But
it's off the
upon
floor.
first impression, it looked great.
It looked
It looked
really, really
great.
good. Yes, yes.
Well, let's get into our show here because we have some, I hope, good news for Harold. What do you
Yeah.
think? Do you think it's good news for Harold?
I felt very good. I was happy. We were cheering.
Yeah.
Awkward moments that I thought were going to be like super awkward were not awkward at all.
Yeah.
I think this date is going pretty good.
I do too.
I do.
And I'm thinking about, if he's trying to get engaged and have a girl move to the United States and all that, I'm thinking Michaela is good because she has a job that you could do anywhere. She's
Yes.
a receptionist at a spa, which
Uh-huh.
he lives in New Mexico. There's spas there. There's spas everywhere. She could do that
Yeah.
job anywhere.
Yep.
I think
I
it's
like
great.
Michaela. Yep.
I like Michaela's business casual look because she was heading right into a meeting.
I noticed that too. I was like, interesting. I'm like, but you know what? She's going out with Harold, so he probably
Right.
thought that was super sexy.
He did.
I'm
He
sure
was
he did.
all over that business casual dress.
Yeah. He wanted to top her
So-
up with a biscuit.
Yes, he does. So he's
Mhm.
real positive about his date. He's getting ready. He feels confident in his new clothes, and he's not going to wear his suspenders.
He
And he
almost
says-
did. He
Oh, he
almost
thought
did,
about
Mary
it.
Payne. He really
But
thought
he-
hard about it.
He says fashion is one of his blind spots, and so he feels great that Katerina helped him. And
Mhm.
he's very positive. I'm really glad that he didn't buck against that too much because,
Me
he
too.
might just want to be comfortable, and that's how. But he did great. He wore a new outfit with his little shorts, everything.
Looked good. He was looking good. Yep.
So he arrives and he does a Star Trek greeting, which is like the split the fingers, which I can't. It's live long and prosper.
I can't do it either. Yeah.
I don't
Mhm.
think she got it, but he gets super nervous because she says, "Hi, oh, you're Harold," and she said, "I'm Isha."
Michaela.
She said, "I'm Isha," and that's why.
So
he
do
goes,
you think that's like her Czech name and Michaela's her English name?
Someone tell us, but I feel like maybe she doesn't go by Michaela. Maybe her friends call her Isha. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it's
Okay.
like a nickname or something. But she definitely did not say my name is Michaela because I watched the whole thing twice. She said, "I'm
Well,
Isha." And he got stunned. He goes, "Oh, I thought your name, okay." And then he never called her anything because he was nervous because she said a different name.
well, that's like me. My name is Keisha, and I
Yeah.
go by Keisha.
Right.
So sometimes when people are like, "Oh, your real name's actually Ricky," yeah, it's so maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, it's a shortened version. It's in Czech or whatever. So
Yeah.
he says he thinks she's gorgeous. She's
Hmm.
tall. She's got long legs. She's all about like her body and her, going to a business meeting dress with her pearls on and her flats. And he says, "Oh, I've drawn you a picture," and he's drawn her an orchid. And she says she
Yes.
really likes it. And wow, no one's ever done that for her. She likes it, unlike the other girl who like threw it right into the water, couldn't give a shit.
She did everything except say, "What the fuck is this?"
Yes,
That's how Teresa was.
she was awful.
Yeah.
So she says, "Wow, no one's ever done this. This is really pro. Oh, you paint. This is great." And he's, "Oh, I just drew it for you." So they're going to tour what is an old-fashioned, old-timey water treatment plant. And
Hmm.
she said, "This is a place where it was dirty water to clear water." And he
Yeah.
was like, "Okay." And he goes, "So it's a water treatment plant?" She says, "Right." So he says, "I love things like this. I love like old technology, especially if
That
he
was
works
right
in
up
a
his alley.
nuclear, a nuclear power plant.
Yeah.
He's interested in this type of thing." So she tells us she's also what would be considered. Oh my goodness, what was that?
It's a zoo.
Somebody
She's
sounded
out
like
of the
they just got
cage.
stabbed. Okay. All right,
Yeah.
all right. So she explains that she's also kind of a nerd, and so she
Hmm.
likes that. She likes to see this weird stuff, and he likes it too. So she, in the talking head, she says he has a very nice smile, and
Hmm.
he's very clever. He's
Yes.
not like what would be like normal sexy, but he
Right.
seems like nice on the inside. Okay,
That
good,
that sums it up right there. Yeah.
all,
Hmm.
all good. So he says in his talking head, he just feels right away he could really be himself and he feels very comfortable with her. And he says, love can come in a strange place sometimes, even in a sewer.
A dark
So,
sewer with no windows, no light, and slugs.
mhm,
Lots
right.
of big slugs and spiders.
So the lady's showing them how they used to, clean the water and all this. And they're going to
Yeah.
the sedimentation tanks. And he's like, "I'm very interested in all of this. I'm very interested in it." And she's like,
Hmm.
"Oh, okay." And then, he says, "Well, for my job, I clean the nuclear," whatever he explains it. And she's like, "Oh, okay." And his
We
talking
finally
head
know
is like,
what he does,
"Right."
like, because we've been wondering exactly
We're
what
like,
he did. So,
"Does he
yeah,
collect the stuff from the x-ray machines?" But no,
right.
he actually helps get rid of nuclear waste. So, my husband is in the nuclear industry. So this is something
Oh,
I should know
okay.
something about, but I don't because I
But you
don't
don't.
listen
I get it. I'm the same way about James's job too. Yeah.
because I
Mm-mm.
also don't care.
Yeah.
So he
Just bring him the
says,
check.
yeah, yeah, take me on those trips. So he says,
Yes.
she's smart, cute, very tall, and he thinks it's promising. So they go on this boat in the sewer system and they're looking
Mm.
up and they go, "Oh, look, wow, giant slugs." And she says whatever the word is in Czech. And he kind of tries to make a move with his arm
I
around her
saw
and
that.
stuff.
I saw that.
Funny.
And I was trying to think, like, did he put his arm around her or did he put it like on the
On,
boat part
on
of
the
it?
back. Yeah.
I think he was trying to gauge whether or not he should touch
Hmm.
her or not.
Yeah.
But the day would
And
have been
good. That's
over once I
good.
saw the slugs. I would have like, we gotta go. Slugs, spiders, we gotta go. End of the day. Bye.
But I think it's good that he didn't just like, because
It's
the
true.
previews made it look like he was being real creepy, but he wasn't.
He
He
was
was,
not.
yeah.
Yes, they did because a lot of the things I'm like, oh boy, I was cringing. Weren't like that at all.
Mm-mm. So they're in the sewer system talking about the slugs, and he's sort of doing the echo, echo, and he
Yeah.
says, "I really like to sing." It's like, "Oh my goodness, I can't sing." And he says, "I'm wondering if she's the one." And he says, "I hope I'm not misreading the whole thing and missing all the social cues. I'm really hoping that she's the one."
No, they have about the same social cues. I mean, I
I
think
think
they're evenly yoked from what we've seen thus far.
thus far,
Most
this is what,
definitely.
yeah.
Yes.
So
And
the
she seems
tour
to
is
like
over.
them.
She seems to like him. So the
Hmm.
tour is over. So he says, "Do you want to sit here and grab a beer?" And she says, I could get a small beer. So he says, "Okay, I'll go get us 2 small beers." So they sit
Hmm.
at this outdoor table and they talk to her. And she says to the producer, "The date's going great. And I like him. And men in the Czech Republic don't necessarily appreciate Star Trek and people that like that stuff. So with him, I could be a nerd."
Yeah.
So she feels like she could be herself too, which is cute.
Yeah, you could tell she felt comfortable.
Yeah. So she says, have you ever been to Comic-Con in America? And he says he
Mm-hmm.
went to a small one that was only for Star Trek, and it was in Vegas. And he actually met William Shatner, and she is like, oh my God, William Shatner. Like, she can't believe it. And
Yeah.
Captain Kirk,
She's like,
the whole thing.
marry me now. I'm packing my
Yeah.
bags. We're going to America together.
So excited. So he says, she says, I don't travel as much as I used to because I work a lot. And that's when she says she's a spa receptionist. And so he says, well, here's what I like to do. I'd like to show you my drawings. And she says, great. She can't wait. So she looks at his drawings. She says in her spare time, she likes to play on the computer Assassin's Creed. He was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I love Assassin's Creed. So then he floats the idea of food. He's like, do you want to get something to eat? And she goes, I
Yeah.
could get one thing small, just like something sweet. And what do you know? He stands up and he pulls 2 lollipops out of his back pocket.
Now, were they watermelon, like a slice of watermelon shape? Is that what they were?
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. Yeah.
But she was just six. How did he have that? And she got very excited when he pulled it out.
But she was like, exactly what I wanted, something small and sweet.
Yeah.
And it's in your back pocket that you've been sitting on in the sewer system. But great. Let
And
me
it's all
have it.
warm and possibly has a little butt juice on it. But hey, I'm going to put it in my mouth anyway.
Yes. So then he says, I've had too much beer and I have to go to the bathroom. Now, he's had half a beer, but that was TMI,
Yeah.
Harold, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
He got a little bitty bladder.
Yeah, he gets up and he goes over to the bathroom, and she draws in his book. She draws his son to add to his house. I was worried
Me
that
too.
he was not going to like that, and he was going to be
Me
like,
too.
I don't like when people touch my things or
Yeah.
add to my drawings. I was scared that was going to upset him, but he
Me
said
too.
she added the sun, and just with a few pen strokes, she added the perfect thing to my house. I would have never thought of it. Now it's perfect. And he does like a full on like Snoopy happy dance.
He
So
did.
excited.
And I was like you. I was like, oh, shit. She just fucked up the whole date when
That's
she
what I
did
thought
that.
too.
But
Yeah.
he loved it. I was like, okay, good, Harold. Good.
Yes.
This is good. Yeah.
So he says, well, if we're finished here, if you're interested, I could have a meal prepared for us at my hotel. And she pauses and she goes, okay, why not? I was like, oh my God.
Thank God.
Yes.
And so producer James and I were watching it together, and he was like, wait, are they going to his room? I was like, no, I think they're just going to go to the hotel and have them like a hotel restaurant
Yeah.
and just eat there. Yeah. But the way that they had it with the previews, it sounded like he was wanting her to go back up to his
Yes.
room and eat and all of that. And then she had that awkward looking face like, ooh, no, I don't want, but it was nothing like that. So
No.
good job, Matt Sharp, on tricking us up.
Always. So she tells him, well, before they get up, she says, in Czech Republic, we have to drink all the beer. You can't leave it. And so he goes, okay.
Yeah.
So he drinks it all in one, he downs it all in one sip. And
And he had to go to the
laughs.
bathroom on the way to the
I'm sure he had
hotel.
to go to the
I'm
bathroom.
sure.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
away. But it was funny because he laughs. He goes, I never drink like that. Like, whoa, getting crazy.
I want to see a loose and crazy Harold.
I know. He's had that whole beer. And he says the connection is electric. And he's so happy. He feels like he might burst.
He's so Harold.
I know. I'm so happy for him, though.
Yeah, I was like, because that last date was so bad.
And she really wasn't
She
letting
was
him
just
down
mean.
easy. Yeah, she
Yeah.
was like, if I
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
find you, I'll come and find you in Prague.
I have my psychic vision, like that's so Raven, I'll just find you anywhere you are in the world. I'll have a psychic vision and there you are.
Yeah.
She was awful.
Yeah. So now let's move on to Stanika, like Topeka. It's in my notes. She's, remember, using Nina, the matchmaker in Morocco. So Stanika meets with Nina and sits down and is like, Nina, listen, Salah was not for me. It was a bad date. And Nina's like, I feel terrible about this because I didn't get any vibe like that at all when I interviewed him.
Right.
And she goes, we have nothing in common. There was no chemistry. We did not vibe. I had to cut the date short. It was terrible. And she's like,
It was.
She says, Nina, you have lost points for that, but you gain them back because of Nourredine.
She's just smitten with Nourredine.
Yes.
I mean, do you think that they end up together? If you had to bet.
If I had, I give it an 80%. I'm gonna go 80%, but I can't go 100.
I like the fact that they're still, when she said that they were texting while she was on the date with
Yeah.
Salah.
Yeah. She says he texts me not too much and not too little. It's just
Hmm.
enough. He's not too thirsty, but he's not ignoring me, kind of a thing.
Right.
And that, she got so bored on her date with Salah, she started, like when she was pretending to translate things, she was probably like, get me on this date,
Texting him.
Nourredine. Are you in Rabat?
She's like,
So,
how do I say leave my fucking hotel right now?
how do I say you were rude to your mother, so it's over? So,
Hey, you know what's I forgot to tell you. Did you know that Nina is a comedian and a boxer?
I knew the comedian thing because Mark said that on that live when he was kind of railing on her. He said, all I know about
Oh,
her, she's a comedian, da, da, da. Yeah.
yeah, she boxes too.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Nina tells us, Nina tells her, she goes, hey, Stanika, I've got another date for you. And
Hmm.
Stanika goes, I don't know if I want any more of your dates.
Not after that last one.
And Nina goes, listen, I'm really sorry about that, and I don't think you should put all your eggs in one basket. And she goes, I know, but I just want to talk to Nourredine. And Nina's like,
Oh,
well, I don't know, because you can't just only go on 2 dates. Like, you're here to like get the whole experience. And the more dates you go on, the more you learn about what you do and don't like. And she goes,
yes.
I don't know. I think I just want to go out and Nourredine again. And so Nina says in her talking head, she goes, yeah, she's really got a lot to learn and she needs to date around more. But at the end of the day, I have to respect my client's wishes. And if she just wants to date Nourredine, it's fine. But I'd hate for her to blow the whole experience on this one guy. But then again, isn't she
I
there to like find a match? You know?
I'm kind of see it both ways because she does need some more just experience.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Nourredine looks, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like him too. I like him a lot. But I
Yeah.
think that's her first date ever. He impressed her and
Ever.
she's like, this
Yeah.
is the one. And then we compare to the date with Salah, she's probably like, yes, he really is the one.
Right.
So I guess we'll
But you got to
see.
have more than 2. I agree with that.
I agree. Yeah.
So Stanika does talking in her hotel, and she goes, I do worry about putting all my eggs in one basket with Nourredine, but
Hmm.
I just can't wait to see him again. So
Oh.
that's the end of their story.
She
Now,
needs to
before we
just
get
bust in on his tour. Wherever he is, like, where you at? I'm coming. I'm on my way. Nina gonna tell me how to get there. She's gonna tell me what to say. I'm on my way.
I know it's been at least 4 or 5 days. So for sure, maybe his
Yeah.
tour is over. It would have been
You
great if they could have
think?
met up in Rabat. Yeah. It's gotta be
I guess
over.
we'll see.
We'll see.
I don't know. I thought he said it was like a week, but maybe I'm wrong.
Right.
Because you know how I
Right.
make shit up sometimes.
Well, he could have said a week and I could have forgotten because I got too many characters in my head.
You do. You
I
do.
can't remember the guy that said, um, most definitely. He was a guy that was from Jamaica and he married that white woman with blonde hair and they lived like in Ohio and she had a son and then they've since had a baby together and she had like real bug eyes and then she had
I
a real
know who
bug
you're
eyed
talking about,
sister. Yeah.
but
And
I don't remember their
he was a
names.
personal trainer and he was so cute. And he would say,
I don't
most
know, but most
definitely.
definitely.
That's what he would say all the time. All right. All right. So before we get to our new cast member, Chad, I want to say something about Chad, okay? Chad really could have used some microdose gummies to calm his ass down because Chad was a freaking nervous, sweaty wreck.
Yes, he was.
He
Indeed.
definitely had some major anxiety, and he may not have
Hmm.
even known he had this anxiety until he left the country. But the microdose gummies can really help with getting your mind off that hamster wheel and be present in the moment where you are in Colombia to meet your future wife. And
Yes.
I have told you guys this. I bite one of those microdose gummies in half every night before I go to bed. Producer Inger has told me that she takes 2. She and I are a different kind of person. So you have to know what works for you.
Yeah.
You don't start off with the 2. Everybody tells you that in the instructions. I bite it in
Build
half.
up.
Yeah, you got to build it up if you want to. Or for me, just the half works. And then it kind of helps my mind calm down so I don't get in the bed and think like, oh, shoot, I forgot to send something to
Right.
Keisha. I forgot to do this. I forgot to do that.
Yes.
So important meme I needed to send you earlier in the day that I forgot. And it really does help calm my mind. And so this is what I would recommend for Chad because man, oh man, that guy was stressed. He was
Yes,
super
he was.
stressed.
Indeed.
So microdose, like I told you guys, is available nationwide. They will ship it to you nationwide. And if you want to learn more about it, it's THC microdosing. If that's what you want to learn more about, you can go to microdose.com and you're going to use code PINKSHADE. You'll get free shipping and 30% off your first order. They have all sorts of stuff there, guys. It's not just like one thing. They've got flavors. They've got different strains for different specific things that you want to address. So you're going to go to microdose.com and use code PINKSHADE. You're going to get free shipping and 30% off, which is a lot. Links can be found in the show notes. But again, microdose.com and code PINKSHADE. And I really hope that Chad goes to that microdose.com and get some before his next cross-country trip.
Send him the direct link.
Yes. Okay, let's move on to Chad of Pleasant View, Tennessee. We open with him playing his dogs. Now, his dogs are outside in dog pens with fans on them, and I don't understand this because he says his dogs are his life. He loves his dogs, but then why are they outside in pens? Why can't they be in the house?
So, okay. First of all, before we even got to the dogs, we saw those cowboy boots on the outside of his jeans, and I was like, oh, here we go. So I get what you're saying because that keeping dogs in kennels like that is really big in Texas because they are hunting dogs.
Yes, yes.
I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. I'm like, dogs need to be in the house. They're family members. However, he did win a couple of points with me because he did have fans out there.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
But I would prefer them to be in the house. I do.
Yeah, because I didn't like how excited the dogs were to see him. And he was like, hey, girls, but didn't like let him out. Only one of them he was playing with. I didn't like it.
She's a favorite.
But it could be they're hunting dogs. They're trained to do that. And that's exactly that's where they want to be. That's where they feel safe. We don't know anything about the dog's life. But I'm just saying for me.
We're judging from what we saw.
We're judging. And I liked the fans. And that made me happy. And I'm going to be positive.
Yes.
So he says he works for a major shipping company driving a tractor trailer and he's home every night. And his favorite thing in the world to do is to cut the grass. He's got a big riding lawnmower. He likes to make those straight lines. And, you know, at this point in his life, he's talking about cutting the grass. So obviously he's ready to settle down.
Yeah. That cutting, I mean, I can appreciate a man that likes to do some yard work because my husband does not.
Same.
Maybe he has a little bit of OCD about those lines right there.
Could be.
And I think you need to, again, send him the direct link to the microdosaging because he seems to have a little bit of anxiety. And this is before he even goes on the date.
Yeah. And his house is super neat and clean. His mom's house is got a lot of home goods word art inside and out. But his house seemed very neat.
Yes,
and
it did.
He says he has 8 acres on his property and his mom has 4 acres. Her name is Patsy and she lives right beside him on the property. And I said, Patsy can get it. She was gorgeous.
If she wanted to catch a man right now in Tennessee or in Texas or anything like that, she'd get her a man. Yes.
Yeah, I love that white
She was
hair.
camera ready, most definitely.
She looked great.
Yes.
So they say that their Chad's dad, Patsy's husband, died 3 years ago, and they were very close. And he says, I miss him every day. I miss him a lot. And he said when his dad died, he was in a real dark place, and he didn't want to date. And he knows his dad wouldn't be happy with him being down in the dumps and not dating and getting out there. He knows his dad wouldn't want that for him. So he's trying to get back on the horse. And mom says, well, I hope if you find a better girl that's better than some of these other girls you dated. And he laughs and goes, Mom, I've only been engaged 3 times. And she just rolls her eyes.
I wish she would have gave us a little bit more insight on how those girls were.
I'd like to hear Mom's opinion on these girls.
Yes, and I think if you just asked her, so what were they like? She would give you their birth certificate, where they went to high school, and everything up until the time that they got disengaged. Yeah, she was ready to tell it out. But I do like that he takes care of his mom.
Yeah, have a seat.
Want some sweet tea?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Lemonade, fresh squeeze.
I've got time if you've got time to hear it. So he says, dating American women just hadn't worked out for him. He's going to give it a try with the women of Colombia.
When they say that, I feel like they are being so extra because you literally can go one town over and find a person. Like all American women? Really? That's a bit much.
It's a big country. Yeah. Yeah.
Humongous. Yes, it is. And Tennessee's a pretty good sized state as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what he should have said was, I've dated or been engaged to all the women of Pleasant View, and that has not worked out for me. So
Yeah,
now I'm
I
going to go to
agree.
Columbia so I can be on this show.
Yeah.
So he's going to give it a try in Columbia. He says he's worked with a lot of Colombian women in the food industry, and he feels like they respect family and loyalty. He loves their skin tone and dark hair, and they always seem real happy. They're always happy. I was like, really? Because we've had some
Really?
Colombian women on this show that seem real aggro. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, what is he? Huh? What is he? Just say you love how Colombian women look, okay?
Yeah,
Because that's
that
really
would
where you were getting at.
yeah, that would have been better. Um, so he says he knows Juan is the man for the job to help him out to find this woman. So he says, Juan is just so easy to talk to. He's loved having
Mm.
these conversations with him. So he calls him and he's trying out some Spanish phrases. He's saying, "Hola, Juan, me llamo Chad." And Juan says, "Okay, try, yo es bonita." And he goes like, "Bo, what? Hiva, what?" And he goes, "You're going to be saying beautiful, pretty." He's like, "Okay."
Yes. He couldn't
So
roll
Juan
them R's, Mary Payne. He said he couldn't roll them R's.
"I can't roll them R's, Juan. This is hard."
He
So
literally
Juan,
sounded like he was reading the menu at Taco Bell when he was trying to talk. It was that bad. It's bad.
you're so, "I'd like a chalupa."
Quesadilla?
Oh my God. So Juan says, yeah, Chad's Spanish is terrible, but he's trying, so that's good.
Yes.
And I think the biggest problem we're going to have with Chad is he is a country boy. And
Yes, he
Medellin
is.
is a big city full of bars and parties and nightlife. But I'm hoping to use this country charm to his advantage. He's going to have to
Oh,
find a girl that
okay.
wants to be a country girl and live in this small town in Tennessee for sure. Reminds me of like
Oh.
Natalie thinking she's moving to
Yes, it
Seattle and
did.
she had to go to
Mhm.
swim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
She had to go to the wood.
Yeah.
So Chad tells Juan, well, I got a problem with women sometime. I got cheated on twice. And Juan says, what was the story with that? He said, well, once because it was long distance, and the other was because my girl, she messed around with a dude at a bar. And he says, I ain't no saint, but I am faithful. And so Juan's like, I don't understand half of what you said. So
I want to know what the third girl did. Like, what happened to the third engagement?
Right.
We
So we know why
we're
the
gonna
first
call
two broke
Patsy.
up. Yeah, we know why
Yeah.
the first two broke up. Well, what happened to girl number 3?
I need to know this.
Yeah. So Juan says, well, I'm going to throw you right into this, and your date is going to pick you up at the airport. And he's like, okay.
That right there, that is too, I mean, you are not okay when you get off a flight. And this is like an
No.
international flight.
Right.
You like want to go take a shower, you want to eat
Yes.
something. No,
Yes.
you cannot meet me at the airport. No, thank you. No, we'll meet tomorrow. No.
Yeah. I didn't like this at all.
Mm-mm.
So Chad arrives in Colombia and he says, there's a lot of firsts happening for me here. First time on an airplane.
Yes. Yeah.
First time to go out of the country.
Yeah.
2 huge things. And he says, and I feel like everybody's looking at me like, look at this guy. And this ain't normal for me.
Right.
And he says, this is culture shock, and I'm going on my first date in 2 years. I'm sweating up a storm.
I bet he was.
He goes in the bathroom and he pulls out another plaid shirt to replace the plaid shirt he's already wearing.
Yes.
And he gives himself a pep talk. You could do it, man. You could do it. He wipes down his pits, gets some deodorant. I appreciated that. I appreciated that.
It reminded me of Darcy.
Yeah.
Whenever she flew to meet Tom, and she was he didn't do 35 sprays of whatever that kind of perfume that she was spraying.
God. Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Now, did you notice when he was going up the escalator, he had a skull circle in his back pocket of his jeans from his dip?
No.
Do you remember how in high school that was so cool if somebody had that
It was.
circle in the back of their jeans? It means they dipped.
Yep.
Dipping
I
is
grew up in
so
Dickinson,
sexy.
Texas, so yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so not sexy at all.
It's so gross. There's nothing grosser than dipping.
No.
So he has a skull circle in the back of his jeans. I thought, Chad, please don't do that while you're there. Nobody wants to see that black grit in your bottom teeth.
He's going to do it. It's a Matt Sharp show. They're going to make sure he does it.
I know. Probably true. So
Yeah.
we see this girl with a Welcome to Columbia sign, and it's during COVID, so they're wearing their mask. And it's a girl named Maria, and she says, Welcome
Mhm.
to Columbia. And do you want to go to a restaurant and have some traditional dishes? He's like, okay.
Now
So
hold
they
on.
walk. What?
I have to
What?
mention this.
Okay, what?
That girl had the prettiest hair
Oh
that
my
I've
God.
ever seen in my life.
It was
It's
gorgeous.
so pretty that I want to find out where she is and tell her if she ever cuts it to send me the hair so I can make me a wig. Because
Yeah.
that was pretty hair. She could have been.
It
She
was-
could be a hair model.
For sure. It was so like
Yes.
long and straight and silky and
And
hung
silky.
perfectly.
Yes.
No flyaways or anything.
Yeah, not a one. I was hating the whole time. I was like, bitch, I
Yeah.
want some bundles like that.
It was pretty. It
Yeah.
was pretty. So they get outside and they take their mask off. And, that's weird. If you meet somebody with the mask and then you take it off, that is weird because you really don't know what they look like.
No, you don't. Mm-mm.
And something real jacked up could be under there,
Yes,
But
indeed.
she was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. So he's
He
like,
hit it out of the ballpark with that one.
he goes, hey, muy bonita. And she goes, what? What? And he goes, muy bonita, very pretty. And she goes, oh, okay. She nods like, this is awkward. So then she
Sounding like
says,
Blaine's cousin. Or someone who
Blaine.
went to the same school as Blaine.
Blaine.
Yeah, they're close. Yeah.
Yeah. So she says in her talking head, she goes, when I first saw him, I thought he looks like a typical American, like a real cowboy movie.
Cowboy.
And I was
yeah.
like, I didn't even think about that. Like she would think like from American movies, he looked like a cowboy,
Of course, yes.
Yeah, which he does. And he's cute. I mean, he is cute.
He is cute. Yes, he's
Yeah.
just exceptionally shy.
Yeah, but we didn't know it till they get in the car.
And I was like, oh, this is really uncomfortable.
Yeah. And she says, he only knows a few words of Spanish, but that's okay. And I'm going to get to know him and see how it goes. And her English is fine.
Mm-hmm.
So in the car, he says, I just want to tell you, you look real nice. And she says, thank you. And it's awkward and it's quiet. And then she says, so what do you do for fun? Oh no.
Oh God, yes, yeah. This.
He says, I like to cut the grass. And she goes, what? He goes, I like to cut the grass. And she goes, I don't know. And he's like, cut with his fingers, like, and he points outside. She goes, oh,
Yeah.
grass. Okay. He goes,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I like to do. And she goes, okay. And he goes, what about you? And she says, well, I like to hang out with my mom and go to the movies or try a new restaurant. And he goes, yeah. Well, flying makes you tired. I'm sleepy. Flying makes you tired. Flying and traveling does make you tired. That is true.
It does, but you don't say that on your first date. You just go get a Red Bull or whatever you can find and just suck it up.
Yeah.
Someone else did that. Natalie did that on a date too. Like was it her first date? Yeah, she's only been on one date. And she's like, oh, I'm sleepy. I'm like, because that kind of makes it seem like the date is boring.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which
So
in
like,
this case it was.
Like me on this podcast when I'm yawning all the time. So she says, yeah, he seems really shy and he's not extroverted at all. And it's kind of awkward.
No. Yeah.
And he says, she's gorgeous. And I get worried when it gets quiet. And I'm thinking, maybe I should have not have done this. And I'm scared I'm going to make an idiot out of myself. And I need some microdose.com code pink shade. Like
I mean, he could have just said, what kind of restaurant? Tell me this. Like, he didn't converse at all. Like,
what
do you do?
You saw? Yeah.
Yes. I mean, those things just come so naturally to people like us that when we're looking, I'm like, you could have asked her all these things. Ask her what kind of shampoo and conditioner she uses for all that beautiful hair or something like that. Jeez, it was cringy.
Yeah, ask the questions we need the answers to. What are you doing to get that hair?
We need to know about that hair. Yeah.
She's probably going to be like, I sleep 10 hours a night and I'm vegan and I do yoga every morning on the beach. I mean, she's going to have something that's not attainable is how she's so beautiful.
And I'll be like, girl, I'll just keep wearing bundles if that's the case. I'm not doing any of the other stuff that you're doing at all.
So since Chad lives on 8 acres plus the 4 acres of his mother, I was thinking, Keisha, he could use some fast-growing trees. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is a new sponsor is Fast Growing Trees. And a couple of weeks ago, I got my new trees. It's 2 Colorama Scarlet Crepe Myrtles. So basically,
Oh,
they're crepe
okay.
myrtles. When they bloom, the leaves are like a
A
kind of a
red.
burgundy.
Okay.
And they came and they're like 4 feet high and they've been planted. I'm not going to pretend like I planted them. Okay. Let's be honest. But the guy that does the landscaping planted them. And a matter of fact, before I did this podcast, I went out there with the dogs and I was watering my 2 trees because I put one on each side of where the fence is. And I'm an instruction follower, which is great for me. They came with very precise and easy instructions. So I've been out there taking care of them. I planted them exactly like they said. I've been watering exactly like they said. And I'm going to be a Fast Growing Trees success story. They look great. They look great. I'm very excited about them. So I love Fast Growing Trees because I found the trees I was looking for. Like I said, you go in, you type in your zip code and what you're looking for, and they will tell you, like direct sun or whatever, and they will tell you exactly what they recommend. Like you narrow it down. Are you looking for trees? Are you looking for plants? Are you looking for bushes?
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking for like little flowers to plant? Whatever it is, they have it and they'll recommend exactly for whatever your growing zone is for your zip code. They're not going to send you a tree that's like not going to work. So
Right.
that's something great too, because I know nothing about nothing when it comes to this stuff. And I was looking for a great price and I found it. And you will too. With Fast Growing Trees 30-day Alive and Thrive guarantee, you know, everything will look great fresh out of the box. And within 30 days, if not, they're going to honor their guarantee and everything's going to be fine. So join
Nice.
over 1.5 million happy Fast Growing Trees customers. You're going to go to fastgrowingtrees.com/pink shade right this minute. You're going to get 15% off your entire order. So fastgrowingtrees.com/pink shade, and you're going to get 15% off your entire order. 15%. That's a lot.
Oh, it is a lot. That's a good deal.
Okay, let's go to Susan. Now, something I want to say about Susan is I interviewed her this week, and that interview is going to be up alongside this episode. So you can listen to it first, listen to this first, whatever. But I really enjoyed talking to her. She was in New York City in her apartment, and I know I know the area that she lives in now, and we had a great conversation. And I think I got to the bottom of some issues that you and I had, where we thought that
Okay.
maybe she should have given Miguel another chance because it seemed like maybe he was nervous. And she explained that no, in fact, he was just a guy that was used to impressing young women with his watches and his cars and his money, and
Oh boy.
she wasn't into it. She wasn't into it,
There's a
and
name for guys like that.
there is.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells us Carlos was great. Like she actually really liked him and is still in touch with him.
Really?
Yeah, she said it didn't go like they never spoke to each other again. They're still in contact. She said he was just like 8-10 years younger than her or something crazy. She was like, it was way too much of an age difference.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, she's looking for somebody stable, not somebody that's traveling around with their band, you know, like Tom Sandoval and the Most
Yeah,
or some shit.
I can get that. I can get that. Yeah.
But anyway, go listen to that interview and we talk about Calliope and everything. It's
Did
great.
you get to ask Calliope any direct questions herself? Did she ever get a chance on the mic?
Calliope did approach the mic, but she didn't have much to say.
Oh.
Susan explained she's not a loud dog. She doesn't bark much.
Well, neither one of us knows about that because our dogs you'll hear them sporadically on any given show. Yeah.
Yes.
They like to talk like their moms.
That's
like us.
that's right. That's why I say Violet's like me. She likes to bark and she likes to sleep.
Me too.
All right. So Susan is at her hotel. Now you'll notice that this is a new hotel. And
Was it?
Yeah. Did you notice? Because the other one, she was just
No.
in a room. So I asked her about the hotel. I let her know that I'd looked it up and that it was so inexpensive for being so fancy. She said that hotel was like brand new and had been open like 2 weeks.
Oh,
and that's why
damn.
they had like no food, no mini bar, no bar,
Okay,
nothing.
that makes sense.
So she did eventually move to this other hotel where everybody else was. For some reason, she was just in this one, but then she got to move to this other hotel. And her room is much bigger and nicer.
She couldn't stay in that no alcohol hotel any longer. The girl needs her drinks.
Yeah, she told me, she's like, I had to walk to a grocery store. I was desperate. So I was like, I would have done that, girl. So she's at her new hotel and she says, listen, Carlos was great. He was. He's a great guy, but he's just too young for me. And
But that's how you stay young, Susan.
I
You're
know.
a young stallion.
I know, but she said she wants to talk to Juan because she doesn't think that Juan is understanding what she wants. So Juan comes
Hmm.
over and she tells him, listen, I liked Carlos. We had fun. And he says, would you like to know what he thought about you? And she goes, I'd imagine he would say that we had a good time. He says,
Huh.
well, yes, he thought you were a beautiful person, but he thought you used Calliope to avoid some topics. And she goes, I don't know, maybe. And he also said he thinks you're closed down and you don't want to talk about your past. And
Mm-hmm.
she goes, what? And he says, listen, you just don't want anything with anyone. And that's what I think. And she goes, what are you basing that on? What are you based on what? And Juan says, I feel that probably Carlos and Miguel would both agree that you're very guarded and you've decided
Yes.
what you think about a date before it even gets started.
I gotta agree
And
with
Juan,
Juan.
and Juan says, whatever I bring you, you're not going to like. And she's just like, what? And she really doesn't understand where he's coming from at all.
Right. Nope.
She had her talking points ready, but he came in with like the 1-2 punch, right?
Well, and I will defend her on one thing. Okay. As far as, using the dog to avoid certain things, you have to remember she was meeting with Juan and she had Calliope with her and he's like, you're going on a date now. So she probably didn't have time to take Calliope to the hotel and drop her off. But that's the only defense I have for her in those situations right there.
I think so too, but I also think if she's going on an outdoor walking date, she's like, yeah, I'm going to bring my dog. My dog would like an outdoor walking date too.
I mean, look, Stanika takes Nina on a hard date, so why can't Calliope go? And hold flowers. Yeah, so.
Yes, great point. So he says, let's go through your list again, right? So it's like handsome, kind, caring, going off the list. And he says, Carlos had everything on this list except financially stable, with a good relationship with money because he's young and he's a traveling actor or whatever. And she goes, Carlos is doing exactly what a 35-year-old guy should do. He's living his life. Good for him. Yeah. It's just not the life that I want. And that's a great point. She's like, I don't begrudge him. That's great. That's what he should be doing. But, I'm 52 or whatever, and I don't want to do that anymore. So Juan says,
I get it.
Carlos said maybe that he shared things about his past with you, but you wouldn't share with him. And she goes,
that's true.
She's like, that's not true. I shared a little bit and he shared a little bit. And she goes, also just because somebody's like super open with about their past relationships doesn't mean they want a new relationship. They just mean they're more chatty. Well, so he says, what? And I kind of think that's true. Just because you're willing to talk about your past relationships doesn't mean like you're ready to jump into another one. You might just be bitter and want to talk about it.
Yeah, but what was the term she used? Let's not kick that tree. Like she was like, stop, don't ask me shit else about it. No.
She shut it down.
She shut it down. Yes, she did.
She sure did. She did.
Yeah.
And then again, who knows what they didn't show us,
True,
so maybe she
that
talked
is
about
true.
it for 2 minutes and then she was like, I don't really want to talk. It's boring. I don't want to talk about this. Who wants to hear
and then
about
that guy
somebody's exes,
And then that guy did eat an ant. So,
That's true. Yeah. He had questionable judgment. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he says, Susan, I don't think you're ready. You say you're ready, but I don't think you're ready. You need to be more open. And she goes, okay, fine. I'll do it for you. And he goes, don't do it for me. I'm doing all of this for you. And she goes, whatever, you're getting paid.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I'm like, are they about to get into a little argument right here? I'm ready for it. I was like, did she really just
She
say
sure
that?
did. She said, whatever, you're getting
Susan.
paid. And he goes, but I do this because I love my job. I'm not doing it for money. And she goes, oh my God, shut up.
Susan, but you know what? I was kind of hoping she would tell us how much she's paying Juan, because I want to know how much they're making as matchmakers.
She's not paying Juan anything. The TLC is.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But like, what is his going rate? If
I would love to know that.
Yeah. Anyway, they shake on it and they agree. And then they have this whole thing where they shake and then like you break it. And she goes, I don't understand what that is. He goes, that's just something we do. And she goes, how come you get to break it? I want to break it. He's like, oh my God.
That described her perfectly in that moment. Just right there when she said that. How come you get the break? Oh, like, fuck it. Oh, break it. You know what I mean? Yeah. She just kind of controlling a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
For a lot of
I thought it was pretty funny. I think that did perfectly kind of sum up her personality right there.
Yes.
So she says in her talking head, she goes, here's the deal. I know, I'm aware that I'm very picky. I'm hyper picky. I
Yes.
am. And then she says, it's because, now we are on episode 6, just finding this out. She said, in the past, I was in a relationship with a toxic person who is a monster of a human.
Oh,
She
boy.
said, it was dark. It was dark. It was terrible.
Okay.
She said,
Okay.
and from that, I've never been the same. And I know that my pickiness can be exclusionary, and that's what I'm going to try to work on. So, all right, if she could have told us that 2 episodes
In the beginning,
ago,
we could understand a little bit more.
Understanding
Yeah.
that she has got all her defenses up, and she
Yep.
actually is trying to make sure that any person that she picks has none of these red flags that maybe she
Right.
ignored in this other relationship.
I get that. I completely, like you said, if she had explained that from the very beginning, a lot more things would make sense right now. So
Yeah.
we've all had, the majority of us have had a relationship that just took us to a dark place, and we just weren't ready to trust. We wanted to be in a relationship, but we didn't know how to let our guards down to be in a relationship. I get it.
And I don't know if she's told Juan all this. Maybe she has. Maybe she has.
I hope she did.
I hope she did too. And he's not kind of getting what she's saying. Like, I can't have anybody that reminds me of that person. And maybe
Right.
something Carlos or Miguel did. But I was glad to know that she's still in touch with Carlos. And she's still in touch with Juan too. She's like, oh yeah, like we're buddies. Whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. So next time on Match Me Abroad, we see Harold ask Michaela, do you like my outfit? And she says, yes, I do. And he says, I had a specialist that picked it out for me. He's so proud.
He's so proud of himself.
And his talking head, he says, this is the best date I've ever been on in my life. Then he sees her they're sitting at the table with his meal. And he says, can I hold your hand? And she says, okay. And then he says, would you like to see my room?
Oh, boy.
No.
I don't know.
This may be editing. It could be editing.
That's true. Yes, you always remind me of that it is still a TV show and there's editing. So I hope that goes well as far as I'm asking. Because usually when you ask a girl back up to your hotel room, it's because you want a little booty.
One thing. It's one thing only.
Yes.
But maybe he really is like, would you like to see my room? I'd like to show it to you. There's some fine antiques in there that you could peruse. You know,
or maybe a collection of rocks that he started doing once he got to the Czech Republic. He wants to show her that.
Right. He could have more notebooks of inventions that he wants to show her.
Yes, that is true. That's true.
I hope he has copies of all those inventions. I hope he doesn't have them just in those notebooks. I hope he's copied them somewhere. I want him to
call him and tell him.
Lose his inventions.
Yeah.
So now we meet a new cast member. Her name is Michelle. She is a full-time marketing manager and part-time party princess.
Yes.
And she is going to the Czech Republic to work with Katerina. So that'll be interesting. I'm glad Katerina's getting another client.
Yes. I was actually surprised that there was another person, another cast member.
I know.
Yeah.
They always do this. That's what they do on Indian matchmaking and Jewish matchmaking. It'll be one episode till the finale and they bring in somebody new. And then they never finish up with the person you saw the previous 3 episodes. Like, what happened to that guy? Well, now we got this because they want you to watch the next season.
Right.
Yeah. I always leave you hanging.
There you go. Yep.
So now we see Mark, and Mark is going on a second date. He's going to someone's home. And he's going to meet the family of the girl, and we see the little brother say, how old are you? And he says 44, and they all laugh right in his face and say, you're old.
Which is pretty damn funny.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Natalie goes out with a guy named Alejandro, and she thinks he's hot. And he tells her, you know, I communicate with spirits and I talk with angels, but I don't want to talk about spiritual stuff before sex. And she goes, she goes, what? Why? And he goes, because then you don't get laid. So he tells people that he tells people that he speaks to dead people, but he doesn't want to tell them before they've had sex because then they won't have sex with him because they think he's a weirdo.
Well, you know what? That's not true because as a huge Ghost Whisperer fan, Melinda Gordon told Jim that she saw spirits before they did the do. And it worked out perfectly well until he got killed.
I don't know who those people are, but I believe you.
What?
No, I don't know.
Ghost Whisperer is the best television series of all time.
What channel could I find that program on?
I think you can find it on Hulu or on demand. It's been off for like multiple years now, but it stars Jennifer Love Hewitt. It is the best show.
Oh, Jennifer Love Hewitt it's
Mm-hmm.
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
You're gonna have to watch it.
I have watched the one about the guys that take all the equipment and go to hotels and old hotels and stuff and watch for ghosts. What are those called? Ghost hunters.
Ghost Hunters.
Yeah.
This is nothing like that.
I've seen shows like that, and I'm like, is this true? Also, I'm scared shitless, and I'm never going to go to sleep now.
Ghost Whisperer is beautiful. You will love it.
All
You're
right.
gonna cry.
Okay. No, I'm not. Mm-mm.
Yes, you will. I bet
After
you
I've
will.
had menopause, I don't cry anymore. It's left me.
Damn.
Isn't that weird?
God, really?
I was talking to my friends about this last night. I go, I think that since I had menopause, I've really become just a cold hard bitch. I really don't. Nothing makes me emotional at all.
Holy
They were
shit
talking about
balls.
crying about this and crying about that. I go, I never cry about anything. I really
Well,
don't.
damn, Mary Payne.
Isn't that weird? I never. Mm-mm.
And
I
I
don't
cry
really cry
about
about
everything.
TV shows. I know. Well, so do both of my friends. They say they cry about everything.
Yeah, I do. I mean, something happy happens and I'm like tearing up.
I will tear up if it's something like sweet, like a sweet thing, but I don't cry because like somebody hurts my feelings or because like, but it's pretty rare. It's pretty rare.
I think that's because you're a podcaster now and you hear so much shit that you just say like, whatever. Here's just an average Monday and someone's telling me off.
Oh my God. It's just, I'm so immune to it. There's nothing you couldn't tell me. I'm like, oh, this guy was in jail and he was a heroin addict and then he beat up his girlfriend and had to go back to jail. Whatever. Anyway, next time on. Oh my God.
That's
The
funny.
last thing we get is Chad is on his date with Maria, the airport girl. And she asked, what did you tell the matchmaker that you're looking for? And he says, well, I'm looking for tall with dark hair. And, you know, I've been engaged 3 times. And she goes,
Oh, boy.
and she literally goes, the what?
He might have should have just
You
waited
really-
till like a third date. Mention that.
I don't think that's something that you say. I'm looking for tall, dark hair, and I've been engaged 3 times, all in the same sentence. I think that
No, it's not.
I think you could say I've been in love before, and I'm looking for love again. And then maybe at another time you could say you've been engaged.
Or, you know, tall, dark, likes men who cuts grass, and then I was engaged 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that order.
But if we don't find out what shampoo she uses before, we're gonna be sad.
Yeah, we need to know like right now. Yeah.
If only I had an ad for a shampoo commercial, I'd put it in right here, but I don't have one.
I know you would. I so know you would.
Oh my God. So what's happening over on the Libra Lounge with Keisha?
This week I'm going to be interviewing Orlando, Patrice and Patrika from season 1 of Extreme Sisters.
I love those
super
girls. I follow
excited.
them on the gram. Yeah.
They're so spunky and with their identical outfits and identical wigs and all that kind of stuff. So
And their
I'm gonna
waist
get all of
trainers
it.
and their little saunas.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. And all we got new kind of diet things, but they never diet. So, which I feel that in my soul right there. So
Same.
going to be interviewing them. I have a lot of questions like, why were they not on season 2?
And
I
have
need
they
to
made
know.
it to Orlando? And what about her? So her son was going to college in Orlando, and I wanted to know if he was really going to college or was he going to Disney College? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I will make sure. I'm going to ask that question right
Okay.
there. Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when will they fulfill their dream of Orlando? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. I got to know all that too. And how many
All right, I
times they've
can't
been
wait.
since the show ended?
Oh, I know.
I bet a lot.
Their love for Orlando is about Disney, right? It has to be.
No, they just said everything about Orlando. Happy things happen in Orlando. It's not just about the
Okay.
Disney. Yeah, they just love Orlando so much. Yes.
All right. All right. And then you told me somebody else you were interviewing too. Who was it?
Deborah Williams, who was the friend of Ashley from Potomac last season.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good.
Mhm. Yes,
She's
yes,
the
yes.
one that rudely Candace called a Muppet.
Candace don't need to talk about nobody.
Well, she
Period,
does.
point blank. And you know she has me blocked, right? On Instagram. I've told you that.
No.
Do you want to know why? because I said she
Sure.
looked like a munchie with a dry wig on. That did it. And she blocked me.
She was like, Monchichi, I could take. Dry wig, no.
Well, put some bio oil on them wigs sometimes, girl, because they look dry. That's all I
Oh
got to
my
say.
God.
And I have been blocked ever since then.
That's hilarious. Okay. And
Yeah.
so is this going to be, are these two interviews going to be on the same episode? It'll be two separate
No,
episodes.
2 separate episodes. Yeah, 2 separate
Okay.
episodes.
All right, you guys go on over there and listen to the Libra Lounge with Keisha because she is funny, funny, funny. And remember, she's very
try.
raunchy. So don't listen if you don't want to get your ears offended because it might happen and it's funny.
It's not for the sensitive at all.
Yeah.
You're going to laugh, but if you're easily offended, nope.
Nope. Go ahead and follow her on Instagram at the Libra Lounge with Keisha and follow us too at Pink Shade Pod. I believe over there on the Instagram, there's a contest going on that if you follow the account and tag, and then you're going to win a gift card to the store. I think we're doing it like weekly.
Okay,
I think
cool.
we're really working over there on that Instagram account. A very funny reel coming up from an interview I did last week with the Real Housemates of New York City, where we're going to count all the times Louis made a threat to somebody on the reunion, which was about 20 threats.
That man, and that red burgundy face. I don't even know what shade that is. Just, I'm over it. Like,
yeah,
I'm over it. I think they may need a pause.
Yeah, they need a pause. They do.
They need a pause. They do. Yeah.
And so this week on the podcast, I've got Kimberly talking with me about before the 90 days over on Supercast and Patreon. We have 90 Day Love in Paradise and You're Not Gonna Tempt Me, Temptation Island. Finishing up with Jewish matchmaking and trying to think of another thing to put on that $10 level, like a special show to put over there. And Kimberly suggested some show that's airing in the UK where it's just it's a matchmaking show or it's like a dating show where all you see is the person from neck down naked. You don't ever see their face, and you choose from their nakedness from neck down. You choose who to go on a date with, and then you sit down with them fully clothed and you see their face.
That's insane.
That's what they do over there in the UK. They just show the boobs, the dick, the balls. They have it all right there out there for you to see right there on your nightly viewing.
This is how you find your perfect match right here.
Right here. And then Kimberly suggested we watch that show. I was like, I don't. And Katie was like, I don't know if I want to do this. Kimberly,
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
That's your choice number 1. Mama June's choice number 2. I think we know what you'll go with.
I'm going to go with the naked people.
I solved it. There you go.
Yeah. All right. Oh my God. I hope that you're enjoying Mama June. I know you're talking about it on your podcast.
As always. Yes. It's so good.
I know you love her. Are you talking about the 2,000-pound sisters too?
It's 1,000-pound sisters. The season just ended.
Okay.
Yes. But they are losing weight like crazy.
But they're divorced now, right?
Yes.
Everybody's divorced?
Everyone's divorcing. Nothing has been finalized. We don't even know if one of the marriages was really legal. But yeah. Tammy's walking now, unassisted. She's lost a lot of weight. So
that's good.
Yeah. I said weight instead of weight. Yeah. So yeah, she's doing good.
Okay, that's good. All right. Yeah. Well, you guys, if you want to listen to any recaps of that highbrow television, going over to the Libra Lounge with Keisha. And I'll play us out with some music, and I'll talk to you next week.
All righty.
Matchmaker.
That's it. It's all it wanted to give me.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.